Hello, and thank you for joining us. I'm Chris Lear, and I'm here with my colleague Keiji Fujimura from the Aichi Institute of Technology. In this session, we'd like to share our research on preparing students for JUEMUN, investigating how their beliefs change through participation, and introducing a tool we built called the JUEMUN bot. We explain JUEMUNs to our students in two main ways. The first is the international experience. It's a chance to interact deeply with students from many different cultural backgrounds, to express opinions on global issues, and to practice real discussion and negotiation in English. The second reason, and this one is especially relevant at our university, is job hunting. Companies our students apply to are interested in their TOEIC scores, and they want to know about the real experiences applicants have had. So JUEMUN becomes something concrete that our students can put on their CV when they apply for work. So who are our students? We ran this survey last year, in 2025, and we brought 20 delegates. As you can see, most were first-year students, and the majority were male. Most were also first-time participants, mainly because they only receive credit for the preparatory course the first time they take it, and in later years, they're simply too busy. You can also see the variety of technical majors here, which gives this group a very unique perspective. In terms of English, they're in the A2 to B1 range, more often A2. Since our students are not English majors, we emphasize learning how to deal with English above their level, using tools like AI and translation software to engage with it at a much higher level than they could manage on their own. All first-time delegates must take a preparatory course if they want to participate. It's a 15-week course of 90-minute lessons conducted in English, but by the time JUEMUN arrives, only 10 or 11 classes have been completed. In those 10 or 11 classes, we have to cover all of the JUEMUN-specific topics, writing position papers, participating in meetings, negotiations, giving speeches, making amendments, and the voting process. We also give feedback on speeches and position papers, and introduce students to JUEMUN-specific language. That is a very condensed amount of content for so few classes. All of this led us to our research. We asked two questions. First, how do students' beliefs change throughout the 3-day JUEMUN conference? And second, what are students' perceptions of using the JUEMUN bot as a preparation assistant for Model United Nations? Keiji, could you talk about the methodology?
Yes. Because I taught this class last year, I'd like to explain the methodology we used. We carried out a classroom intervention using an AI bot, together with our own regional website, in addition to the materials shared on the official JUEMUN.org site. I developed the bot specifically for JUEMUN, and students were free to use it whenever they wanted. We then collected data from a mid-conference survey and a post-conference survey. The post-conference survey focused mainly on how they used the AI and how they felt about it, while the mid-conference survey looked at how their beliefs changed during the conference. The mid-conference surveys were conducted in English, and the post-conference survey used a 6-point Likert scale, completed in Japanese.
Here are the responses. To make them easier to take in, let's break them down. Looking at what students told us over the 3-day period, we identified 5 recurring themes. Let me walk you through each one. For your information, the names that appear from the next page are pseudonyms. The first theme is developing confidence in English. On day 1, students found the pace overwhelming. As Takumi put it, the conference speed was very fast and he didn't have time to think, but he wanted to join in more reflexively the next day. By day 2, they were noticeably more positive. Daiki said it felt less difficult than the day before, and he felt calmer and could act more proactively. And by day 3, they reflected on the whole experience very positively. Haruto said he was nervous when JUEMUN started, but came to find it interesting, and he was proud that his opinion was adopted. The second theme is how students perceived the conference itself. On day 1, many were genuinely shocked. They had never engaged with people at this level of English. As Kosen put it, he was disappointed by the high level of the people around him, but their perception shifted quickly. By day 2, students found the environment supportive. Hayato said his committee spoke too fast, but they were kind, helping, and speaking slowly when asked. By day 3, the experience had become meaningful. As Daiki said, if he had to sum up the 3 days in one word, it would be challenging. He was frustrated he couldn't contribute as much as he wanted, but left determined to come back next year and fully participate. In short, they saw JUEMUN as difficult, but very much worth it. The third theme is a sense of achievement. No matter how big or small, students found some form of achievement here. For some, it was simply raising their placard and calling for a motion. Hana was happy just to be able to raise her hand and speak during a committee session. Others went further. Daiki completed his operative clause by combining his own ideas with input from others, and Haruto was proud that his opinion was adopted. Even when a suggestion was refused, they kept trying to make suggestions, propose operative clauses, and offer amendments, and they found real achievement in that effort. The fourth theme is persistent communication challenges. No matter how much achievement they felt, students were constantly reminded that the level of English around them was above their own. Yuki said he was so busy listening to the other delegates that he couldn't express his own opinion well, and Masao found it really difficult to understand the native speakers. Yet this didn't deter them. I'll admit I found Mio's comment quite funny, that it was hard to jump in while the Americans were talking. That's true in almost any situation. The fifth and final theme is a desire to improve their English. This came up again and again. On day 1, Shungo said he wanted to try to speak English more the next day. On day 2, Hinako said that since tomorrow was the last day, she wanted to speak up more. And on day 3, students recognized that each day, they could speak a little more than before. Daiki was glad he could speak several times in committee, but regretted not speaking during the regional block discussions, and said he wanted to improve his English so he could speak up and communicate more actively next time. So this brings us back to our main issue. Workshop A gives us only 10 or 11 weeks. In that time, we have very limited in-class hours to teach students how to research and understand the necessary background, write a position paper, write and deliver MUN speeches, and use MUN language in role-play scenarios. We need to find ways to be more efficient, to help students individually without taking up even more class time. And that leads us to a question.
Yes. To solve this problem, we came up with the idea of an AI bot. The question was, how can we supplement the coursework to give students more one-on-one feedback, practice, and support? This is what we call the JUEMUN bot. It provides just-in-time support and explanations of specific JUEMUN key points, along with research support and oral practice. Importantly, it does not write a full position paper. I designed it that way on purpose. I built it using a paid ChatGPT account, configuring it to guide students like a professor rather than hand them answers, and I loaded in the necessary materials as its knowledge base. Students can ask it anything. For example, the difference between a community and a regional block, and it answers immediately, even at 2 a.m. That helped a lot. Here are some student responses about the bot. On usefulness, it scored 4.7. As Kenta said, in the informal sessions, it was useful as a tool for translation and for organizing what he wanted to say. Interestingly, we originally intended this only as a preparation tool, but students ended up using it during the conference itself as well. On ease of use, it scored 4.8, the highest of the 3. Daiki said he often used it when he got stuck and that it was easy to use. On reliability, it scored 4.1. A little lower. As Takumi noted, it sometimes provided incorrect information, so its reliability was low, but it was still helpful for understanding the flow of the meeting. What's encouraging here is that students clearly know AI can hallucinate. Whenever they felt skeptical about what the bot produced, they double-checked it against the documents. But it still saved them a lot of time. This shows a real critical AI literacy.
Overall, JUEMUN gave participants an authentic, communicative environment that promoted linguistic development, intercultural engagement, and greater awareness of their own English abilities. Communication difficulties often became sources of motivation rather than discouragement. Within this context, the JUEMUN bot functioned as an effective, AI-supported learning tool that reduced cognitive load during both preparation and participation. Participants saw it as easy to use and helpful, with concerns mainly about technical limitations and occasional inaccuracies. Taken together, our findings suggest that AI-assisted support, combined with experiential learning like JUEMUN, can enhance learner confidence, participation, and preparedness, without replacing authentic communication practice. One more thing. The quantitative side of this study will be published as a paper, and we'll let you know when it's out. And this points us toward our future research. We want to look more closely at how students are actually using the JUEMUN bot, the efficacy of the bot on delegate performance, the potential areas where it could substitute for in-class lessons without reducing effectiveness, and a comparison of the JUEMUN bot with other large language models, such as ChatGPT, to compare overall hallucination rates. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'm Chris Lear. And I'm Keiji Fujimura. Please feel free to reach out to either of us with any questions. Thank you.